All right, guys, welcome to spring semester. This is Unit 6, Lesson 1 for Math Models. All right, so our vocabulary, you're going to want to add these to your notes. Let's go through them really quickly. Bi-weekly, this prefix bi, this tells me two. Like bicycle has two wheels, bi-weekly is paid every 2 weeks. Okay, gross pay. This is the amount of money earned for your job before any deductions like insurance and social security and taxes come out. Overtime, this is the number of hours over 40 that you work in a week. Typically, if you work overtime, if you're an hourly employee, you get paid more for your overtime hours. Now, if you're salary, like for instance, a teacher, this is a fixed amount and it does not depend on how many hours you work. So here's an example. Teachers are given a salary and we're expected to work 40 hours a week. However, a lot of teachers work 50 hours, let's say, because they work weekends and after hours and things like that. So we are not paid any more for working 50 hours than if we were to work 40 hours because we're on salary. Semi-monthly is twice a month. Now, I want you guys to use Control F anytime. There will be a box that will pop up when you hit Control and F at the same time on your keyboard. Take a look at what this looks like. It's right here. You're going to hit Control and F at the same time on your Chromebook. And when you hit those at the same exact time, it will pull up a box and you can type in like, oh, I forgot what salary means. So I type in salary and it's going to highlight every time the word salary is used. The first time is in orange and after that it's all in yellow. But this way you can quickly find everywhere the word salary is used and you can find it. This is great for when you're taking a quiz or a test. So you're not going to miss any questions regarding vocabulary because you're going to use Control F to search it up. All right, so let's add that to our notes. For all vocabulary, if you're taking a quiz or a test or you're in a lesson, you're going to hit Control plus F to search. This is an immediate grade booster for all vocab. So if I'm taking a quiz, I'm going to have 2 tabs in Buzz. One tab is the quiz I'm taking, and the other tab, I'm going to have the lesson pulled up, and I'm going to search for that and be able to find it. Okay, let's keep going. So in example 1 here, let's go through this together. And then I'm going to show you a cool calculator trick. Okay. So example 1, you're offered a job that pays $10.25 an hour. You've been told that you'll be expected to work 1 Saturday per month for 8 hours at time and a half. That means 1.5. Okay, 1.5 for overtime. How much will you be making for a 40-hour week? Okay, there's some other questions there, but let's just do one at a time. For 40 hours, you make $10.25 and you're going to work 40. So we're going to multiply these two. Let me pull up a calculator. I'm just pulling up Desmos. So 1025 times 40. We're kind of doing example 1 without our math models calculator, just with like a normal calculator. So 1025 times 40. Hold on, if you go too fast, it doesn't get that decimal. Try that again. 1025 times 40. Okay, that's $410 for working 40 hours at your job. Alrighty, let's look at the overtime now. 1 Saturday per month for 8 hours. You're going to get your 1025, but we are going to get time and a half. So that means we're going to multiply by 1.5, and then we're going to multiply by the 8 hours because we're going to get more than 1025 per hour for that overtime. And you can go ahead and do all three at the same time. 1.5, right? Parentheses stuck together means they're multiplied. I need to slow down. It's not getting there you go. 1025 times 1.5 times 8. 123 for that 1 Saturday of overtime. So that's your overtime pay, and this is your regular 40 hours per week. Oops. Pay. All right, so let's look at the questions. How much will you be making for a 40-hour week? $410. How much will you be paid for your Saturdays? $123. What's your annual gross pay? So since this is per week, but we also have 123 once a month, it's a little tricky. So what I'm going to do is to do your annual means yearly. So I'm going to get $410 for the week. And I'm going to work 52 weeks a year. So when we multiply those, let's see what we get. For 10 times 52. Okay. That gives me $820. That doesn't make sense. Oh my goodness. I just have to go slow. There we go. I'm like, that's not good for a yearly salary, guys. Whew. $21,320 annually. And that's if I don't get any overtime. But I do get overtime. I get $123 a month because I'm only going to work 1 Saturday a month. So I'm only going to get this on 1 Saturday a month. So I need to multiply this by 12 because there are 12 months in a year. All right, so 123 times, okay. I think when I'm recording, I have to just go really slow. There we go. Okay, so for working 1 Saturday a month, I'll get $1,476 annually. All right, so let's add those two together. Here's my 40 hours annually, and here's my 1 Saturday a month annually. When I add 21,320 and 1476 together, I get 22,796. This would be my annual gross pay. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at part of your lesson. Number 1, Chris is offered a job that pays $9.85 per hour for a 35-hour work week. She will be paid bi-weekly. What will be her gross pay? So it's $9.85 per hour multiplied by 35, and that's it. But let me show you how you can do all of these for lesson 1 and 2 anytime you need a gross pay. So this is your keyword here, gross pay. Anytime you're asked for gross pay, you can use the Unit 6 Q1 calculator. Okay, So let's enter this information here. Now you do have to click use template. I'm afraid I already clicked that. So use template on the upper right-hand corner, and then we can enter this in. Okay, how often is this person paid? They mentioned biweekly, so we're going to keep biweekly. We're going to change this to $9.85 per hour, and it's 35 hours per week. So we don't know about overtime, so we're just going to leave that. And her gross pay per paycheck, $689.50. If you needed weekly pay, it's here, monthly and annual. It's all here for you. So really cool. So $689.50. All right. Let's try an overtime question. Number 2. All right. So Caleb, let's read it first. Caleb has a job that pays $11.15 per hour, and it's 40 hours. He is paid time and a half, which is overtime. So you can see over 40, that's overtime. What will his gross pay be for a week in which he works 46 hours? So we just need the week here. So let's try it. So weekly, because we just want weekly. How much does he make? $11.15. And he works how many hours? 46 hours. Okay, we're leaving week 2 blank. It's just the week. Does he earn overtime? Yes. Time and a half is typically what overtime is, so it's going to calculate that for us. So what will his gross pay be for that 1 week? So we need to select the week right here, $546.35. Of course, it's the same as the paycheck. $546.35. Isn't that cool, guys? All right, so you can practice with these. I'm looking. I was going to do this one, number 7. Okay, what is the gross pay? So you're thinking, oh, gross pay. I'm going to use that cool calculator. Annual means for the year. For Saul, if he works 40 hours each week, but he also works 4 hours of overtime every 2 weeks, Saul makes $27.35 an hour and gets time and a half. Okay, so let's start doing this. So every 2 weeks, how much does this person make per hour? $27.35. Yes, overtime. Saul works 40 hours each week. Okay, 40. But he also works 4 hours of overtime every 2 weeks. So it's not every week. So if it were every week he did overtime, then we'd put 44 for both. But just every other week, he works overtime. So on week 2, he's going to work 44 hours because he works 4 hours of overtime. And does he get overtime pay? Yes, he does. So his gross pay per check, notice how I clicked out, right? So it would recalculate. So just click somewhere else. Gross pay per check is $23.52.10. This would be his weekly and all of that. So let's look and see. What did they want? His annual pay. All right, his annual pay is down at the bottom there, $61,154. Okay, you guys are going to continue on. Oh, look, number 10, gross pay. It's a vocabulary word. So you're going to use Control F and you're going to search gross, and you're going to go up and find everywhere it's highlighted. Okay, I hope this helps. If you need further assistance, please go see your Math Models teacher in their classroom for help.